Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to store key value data on iCloud using NSUbiquitous Key Value Storage in Godot game engine. So let's get started. So as usual, you would require a macOS for this, and you would also require Xcode installed. So I have already installed Xcode from the Apple App Store, and we will be following this documentation. Based on this documentation, I have just created one cheat sheet, so feel free to follow this documentation. So first, what we need to do is I'll just create one simple folder in my workspace directory named Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like, it's up to you. And uh, the reason I'm creating this folder is because at the end of this tutorial we will be having 3 different projects. So just to maintain like just for organization's sake, I'm creating this parent folder. So just open Xcode, and you will have to click on File, New, and select Package, and here select Multi-platform, select Library, click Next again. And here inside the Godot folder, I will create this particular library. I'm naming it as my library. You can name it whatever you feel like, it's up to you. If you are doing this for the very first time, just do what I do, because this particular name will be used in lot other places as well, so it's better you follow what I'm doing. So I'll just click on this create button. So it will open this package.swift. Now at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot, which is the dependency we will be using to create iOS plugins in Swift, does not support Swift version 6 and above. But if you are watching this video long in the future, do check the Swift Godot repository if it supports Swift version 6. So currently it doesn't. So what I need to do is I just need to change the Swift version to from 6.0 to 5.10. Next, we need to copy this dependencies block as well. So I'll just copy this, and here you can see that so we have already done this step from the documentation. We have done this as well. And here after the products array, we need to add this dependency array. So I'll just paste this particular bit of code. Now you have to add you have to do Command S to automatically install this library from Swift package manager. So make sure you do that as well. Okay, then the next step is platform iOS version 17. So if you see the documentation, they have given it for platform macOS version 13. So just paste this particular bit of code, iOS version 17. Okay, I have kept the minimum version to 17 because I was facing compile time issues for compiling Swift Godot for version below version 17. That's why I've kept it as version 17 as the minimum. Then we need to add this type dynamic. Again, it is there in the documentation. Here you can see after library name. So I will just add this particular bit of code. Then we need to add this dependency arrays as well. So again, I'll just copy this, and if you see the documentation, again I'll just scroll down. Here you can see after target name they have added this. So after target name, I'll just paste this bit of code. Then I can just improve the indentation a bit. You don't have to do this. Then what we need to do is we need to write the actual code. So I'll just write down all the code and come back and then explain it to you. Okay guys, so I have written down all the required code. So what you need to do inside your mylibrary.swift file or whatever your file name is, you first have to import UIKit as well as Swift Godot. Then this is the boilerplate code which we have to write every time. Like this is required for Swift Godot. That's all I will say, and this should be your own library name, so make sure you are careful over here. Now you are seeing lot of errors. This is fine because Xcode does not play nicely with Swift Godot. So yeah, then here I have created one class called myLibrary, which I have annotated with @main actor as well as @Godot, and we are extending ref counted. This is just a signal which I have created. So signal is basically used for sending data from native iOS side to Godot side. Then here we have created this NSUbiquitousKeyValueStore. Here I have defined 2 methods. One is save, which takes a value as well as key, and we just do key value store dot set value, passing the key, and just synchronize it so that it is available for us quickly. And here is the get method as well. Again, it just takes a key, then we just do key value store dot string, passing the key to it, and whatever data we get, we just emit it back to Godot side. And in case if there is no data, I'm just saying no data. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to create a build.sh file. Now I'm not comfortable creating that file from Xcode, so I will be using VS Code for it, but feel free to use whatever ID you prefer. So again, I'll just close this. This is just a sample code I was referring. This is our cheat sheet, right? So I'll just remove my cheat sheet, and what I'll do is I'll just drag and drop this Godot folder inside VS Code, and I'll also bring back my cheat sheet. So inside this my library folder, we need to create a file called build.sh. So I'll just create that particular file. Okay, then we need to go to this particular URL. From this URL we need to copy some code, so I'll just open that and I'll copy everything. So I'll just do command A, command C, and I'll just do command V to paste everything. Okay, so this is done as well. Then you will have to go to terminal and start building your project, iOS library I mean. So I'll just cd to my iOS library. Okay, and inside that first I need to run this particular command. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Then I need to run this particular command, so this will actually generate the iOS framework for us. So here I'm not planning to deploy it to Apple App Store. That's why I'm using the debug framework. That's fine for me, but instead of debug you can use release as well. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So I'll just run this. Now this will take a bit of time. In case if there is any error with our code, this will also let us know. So in the meantime, what we can do is we can just open Godot game engine. Now at the time of recording I'm using Godot 4.4.0. so I'll just click on create, click on browse. So I'll have to go to the Godot folder which I have created. So this is the folder. I'll select the current folder and I'll just name it as my Godot project. You can name it whatever you feel like. Okay, and I'll just click on create. Then here first go to project, export, add, iOS, click on this fix import button. Here you will have to enter your App Store team ID. I will enter mine offline. So to get your App Store team ID, you can go to this particular URL over here, which will guide you on how to get your App Store team ID, but that is necessary, otherwise you won't be able to export your project. Then we need to give it some bundle identifier. So for now I will just give it as com.nobody.myapp. So typically it is your company name dot your app name. I'll close this, click a 2D scene, and inside that I'll just create two buttons and one label. So here is button 1 and here is button 2. So I'll just drag and drop this button so that they are visible. So this is button 2 and this is button 1. Okay, then I will just create one label as well. So here is our label, and I'll just increase the font size for our label, and the label will only display the get text which we will be getting. Okay, I'll just command S to save it. Then I'll just run this as well so that our starting scene is selected. So otherwise we'll face issues if you don't do this. Then I'll just give our button some title. So first one is save. If you want to increase the title size or font size, you can do that. I'll just save this. Then I'll attach one script to our node 2D. I'll click on create. Then I will go to our first button. I'll go to node and I will add the press signal to this. Then I will go to the second button. I will add press signal to this as well. Then I will just drag and drop our label. Okay, I'll just save this. Now what I'll do, I'll again cheat a little bit. I have some old project from which I will just copy some code because I don't remember all of it. So first, so here is the code. So first I'll just need to create this variable. So I'll just create one variable which will initialize our library. I'll just dismiss this output. I'll expand this particular thing as well. And here is our ready function. So again I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So here is my library. Again, this should be your own library name over here as well as over here. So we are just initializing our library, and here we are connecting the output signal as well. So we need to create this method. So this method will get called anytime we send some data from native iOS side to Godot side. So again, for that I have this particular bit of code which again I'll just copy it and I'll just paste it at the bottom. So here once we get the data, we just update it we just show it inside our label. Now on the first button press, again I'll just copy some code So this is for the first button press, this is for the second button press. Now we just need to change the method name. So here, come over here, and you just need to add a save method. That's what we have defined over here. And first is the value, second is the key, right? So here I can just say hello coding with nobody, and the value can be name. And for the second method, it is just a get method which takes a key. So I'll just pass this, and here I'll just pass this name. Okay, so this is the key. I'll just do command S to save it. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so there was some issue. Okay, so I know what the issue was. So the build failed. Sorry about this. So I'll just close this. So what you'll have to do is go to build.sh file and here inside the scheme, which is at the from the start, it is over here. We'll have to change this to my library. Yeah, sorry about this, I forgot. Again, this should be your own iOS library name. And the second thing is we need, again, this is just my cheat sheet, in which we need to add this skip macro validation as well, because I was facing some issues. So I need to add this particular bit of code as well. So yeah, these two things. Then let's try to build it again. In the meantime, what we can do is go to your Godot project. If you want, you can use Godot game engine as well. I'm just creating it from VS Code. Inside your Godot project, at the root, just create one bin folder, and inside that you will have to create a file with whatever is your iOS library name .gd extension. So I'll just create this particular file. If I just show it to you from the Godot game engine, here you can see bin folder, and this is our GD extension. Now I'm not able to open this from Godot game engine, that's why I created it from VS Code. Now inside this particular file, you need to copy this particular bit of code. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now again, if you have generated release framework, you will have to replace debug over here as well as over here with release. And let's see, so this is still building, so I'll just wait for this to build and then I'll come back once it is done building. As you can see, my project was finished successfully building. So what we need to do is we just need to go to our library, go to bin, go to iOS, and copy these two .framework folders, and then you will have to go to your Godot project, go to bin, and just paste it over here. Now this particular .uid file is created automatically from Godot 4.4, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, then I'll just create one folder name iOS. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that once we export a project from Godot game engine, there will be a lot of files. That's why I've created a separate folder. So over here, okay, so we have written all the stuff. Then again, I'll just save it just to be on the safer side. Just go to project, export, export project, then go to iOS folder and just click on save. Now this will take a bit of time to export the project, so just be patient. Once this is done, I'll come back and explain the next step. So as you can see, my project export was successful. Then all you need to do is just go to the iOS folder and double click on this .xcode proj file. It will open it for you in Xcode. Now you need to run this application on a real device. It will not work on a simulator. And there is one more thing which you need to do is just go to your Godot project, click on sign in and capabilities. Make sure you have selected proper team and enter some proper bundle identifier. Then click on plus capability, just click on add iCloud. I'll just click on enter, click on create entitlements file, and here you will have to select this key value storage. Now it is updating the provisioning, so you just have to wait a bit. In case if your bundle identifier which you have entered is used by someone else, then it will fail. You will have to update your bundle identifier. And one more thing which you will have to be careful is every time you export a project from Godot game engine, this iCloud capability which we have added will get lost. So it's better you either use some kind of a repository like GitHub or something, just to check the differences. So yeah, that's what I will say. But if you want, this is just a small step which you have to add every single time, but it's very easy to forget. So be careful. Like, I don't know how to add this iCloud capability directly inside our package. Maybe there is some step or inside Godot game engine, I don't really know about it. That's why I'm just adding it at the very last once our project is created. Now again, this will take, this might happen to you sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, let's just, once the output is ready, I'll come back and show you guys the output. Here is the output. I'll click on the save button and the data is stored. Now I'm not sending any signal. Once the data is saved, I'll just click on this get button. So here you can see the output. The next thing which I'm going to do is I'll just completely uninstall the application just to show it to you the data is persisted even after uninstalling it. So I'll just click on delete app, and also so I'll just rerun the application, and I will directly click on the get button now because the data is persisted on iCloud. So yeah, I'll just wait for this to build. Now if you want to fast forward the video, please do so. So here is our get button. I'll click on it, and here you can see I can still see my value. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.